Hello, welcome to a new episode of What the F. Now, the topic for this video is again Batman v Superman, and I know it's one of my most recent videos was the announcements of Lex Luthor and Aquaman, the pictures that were released. I mean, we already knew the actors who were playing them, but we saw pictures recently, and that was the subject of the most recent video. Now, I said before that I was going to try and keep as current as possible because normally I do a particular subject, I don't get to it straight away, and by the time I do, it is kind of old news. But I'm being as current as possible with this one because what was revealed recently was just beyond exciting for me. It really amped up my excitement for this film that's coming up. And the excitement was Zack Snyder recently released a 20-second teaser of Batman v Superman, and all it really showed was the Batman's suit and Superman's suit, and with a little voiceover. Didn't really reveal much. It was a teaser in the true sense of the word. But then the plan was that 5 days after that 20-second clip was released, he was going to release a 2-minute trailer for the movie. And it was actually revealed, I think, sooner, because versions of it were leaked online from obviously a foreign market because they were subtitled, and it basically it was leaked online, whoever leaks these things. And so I think they decided to release, the English version of it for the US market early, and it was fucking phenomenal. I can't, I couldn't wait to watch. I didn't watch the leaked version because I didn't really want it to be spoiled with subtitles. I wanted to see it in its kind of English form, because obviously if I can speak English and understand English, so I waited to see that. Now I thought about including the trailer in this video, but I'm not necessarily sure. Excuse me. I'm not really sure about the legal implications of doing that. I've struggled with that in the past. I mean, I remember making a Doctor Who themed video, and I kind of got shut down by the BBC saying, you can't do that. Even though there's a ton of these videos that exist, I got a warning that I was messing with copyrighted material. So I decided what I'll do instead, because given that I don't know if I can put the trailer into this video, I decided that I'm going to screen capture the whole thing. Now it's all 2 minutes. These are all essentially frame by frame the trailer. I mean, if you can find it it's on YouTube. Watch it. It can't be. Nothing can beat watching this trailer. But what I've done is I screen captured the whole thing frame by frame, and I'll those are the pictures that you're gonna see now. There's something like 30 images. So here is the screen captured version of the Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice trailer. Now, even when looking at pictures of it, if you haven't seen the trailer and you've seen this, it looks fucking phenomenal. It looks brilliant. They're continuing with their theme of kind of dark and gritty. I mean, and that statue that seems to be in that image of Superman, and somebody spray painted on him, false god. Which, for starters, Superman never really claimed he was a god to begin with. And his powers could be interpreted as godlike. It's like in the recent Thor movie, they talked about how, the Asgardians were so advanced when they came to Earth, they were seen as gods because they were so powerful and so advanced. And I suppose so the same could be said for Superman. But my personal opinion on that trailer, again, as I already said, is fantastic. I mean, Zack Snyder really is fucking doing an incredible job. I mean, I loved the picture where we saw Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne. You see him as Bruce Wayne, and then you see him as Batman. And obviously we see Henry Cavill, and some people are bowing down to Superman, which is kind of a weird thing. And the whole type of thing where they finally meet Batman and Superman. Batman's in his suit, especially designed to fight Superman, which leads me to believe that eventually Kryptonite's going to be introduced, because they seem to be drawing heavily on the Dark Knight Returns, the graphic novel, the famous fucking Batman graphic novel from the 80s. They seem to be drawing on that, and in that, Batman had this specific suit that he used to fight Superman, and there was kryptonite involved in it. Because they didn't have kryptonite at all in Man of Steel, and people wondered, well, are they going to introduce that? Well, and when they announced that they were going to be drawing on the Dark Knight Returns graphic novel for the next film, how is Batman going to go up against Superman unless he has an advantage? Because he can make a bulky suit, he can make a suit that makes him stronger and more powerful, but Superman will fucking beat him easy. But he needs an advantage. So I have to believe they didn't. You didn't see kryptonite in this trailer. You didn't see any green rock. But I have to believe that there will be kryptonite in the film, because again, Batman needs an advantage over Superman. Otherwise, Superman's just gonna hover above him and kill him with the fucking heat vision. It'll be an easy victory. So no, the trailer excites me, and I love. Again, you really have to see. I'll actually include a link to the trailer in the description of this video, because you have to see it. Because the voiceover, you hear voices where they're talking about, oh, Superman, is he here to help us? What's his agenda? What are his motives? And then you hear a voiceover of Alfred, who is being played by Jeremy Irons. You hear Alfred. I mean, it doesn't explicitly say that this is Alfred speaking, but you can recognize Jeremy Irons' voice. So it's brilliant. And again, I'll include the link in the description, because you just have to see this fucking trailer. Now, of course, it has detractors. You can't please everyone. Everyone's going to have oh my god, this is, some people are complaining about, oh, it's too dark a tone. I mean, I've heard some people say, we had dark Batman with Chris Nolan's films. Why are we still going dark Batman? Why not something lighter? And that opinion puzzles me. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, and it puzzles me that they have that opinion. Again, they're entitled to it, but I don't understand how they can have it. I'm not saying everyone agree with me. Everyone, again, as I keep saying, they're entitled to their opinion, but base your opinion on information. I mean, a lot of people in my generation, their first exposure to Batman would have been Adam West, the 60s TV series, which was very colorful and camp. So people would have an impression of that's how Batman is. And even when Chris Nolan went dark with his versions, even Tim Burton, that was fairly dark enough. People were like, people preferred the campy, lighter Batman of the 60s. But what those people who say, why can't we have a lighter tone, is Batman. I mean, look at Batman's origin story to begin with, right? It's not a happy tale. He was little Bruce Wayne, saw his parents murdered right in front of him. Now, if that happens to anyone, that's not going to be a happy life. You're not going to grow up thinking, you're not going to be Annie singing about tomorrow, If you saw your parents murdered right in front of you, it's ridiculous to think that it's going to be a happy tale. And for the most part, it isn't. I mean, if you look at the graphic novel, it's comic book form. I mean, Batman was born in the comic books. There was never always a Batman TV series or Batman movie serials. There were some black and white ones way back. But the true origins of Batman are dark. I mean, I've already quoted The Dark Knight Returns, that graphic novel. There's another famous one, The Killing Joke, which talks about the Joker's origin story. The Batman comic books, by and large, for most of its history, have been very grim. They have to be, of course. I mean, if you're a guy who sees your mom and dad murdered right in front of you, and you decide, this will never happen to anyone else, you're not going to slap on fucking red and yellow and happy colors and fight crime. That doesn't instill fear. I mean, the whole concept of Batman is it's a fearful look. You see Batman suit like the Chris Nolan version of Batman, the Tim Burton Batman, and now the Zack Snyder Batman. He's a very scary and imposing character because bats, in general, the animal bats or the rodents are a very scary looking thing. So that's why Batman chose the image of a bat. He needed to instill fear in the criminals, and that is a fearsome image. Bats are scary to look at. So it's not always been a kind of a campy. It wasn't really a campy character until the '60s when they did Adam West. No, I love the '60s Batman TV series. I love Adam West as Batman. You have Burt Ward and Robin. But they had to tone Batman down in the '60s because for the TV series because they couldn't put something down. I mean, you couldn't put Chris Nolan's Batman on a TV screen in the '60s. Parents would have been up in arms. PC Brigade would have been through the roof. Like, how dare he? Depressing things. And again, the character is a depressing, kind of a grim character to begin with. Because, again, as I've already said it multiple times, mom and dad murder right in front of you, you're not going to be a happy child. And if you make the decision that you're going to be some kind of vigilante, it's not going to be a happy, joyful image you're going to portray. You want the fucking criminals to be afraid of you. You want them to be afraid. So, this criticism that they want a lighter tone Batman is kind of silly. I mean, and they have a kind of lighter tone Batman in a way. I mean, you look at cartoons. I mean, recently it was announced that there's going to be an animated Batman film voiced with Adam West and Burt Ward as Batman and Robin. Now that, no doubt, that's going to be a lighter tone because that's who they were. Adam West and Burt Ward were a very light Batman and Robin. So when they make that animated film, it's also going to be in a lighter vein. And the cartoon version of Batman for the kids, again, a lighter tone because it has to be because you couldn't give him Christmas. You couldn't give like my nephew. He's 4 years old. He loves Superman. He loves the superhero. I'm not going to show him Chris Nolan's Batman. Not yet. He's too young for that. I don't know if it would necessarily scare him. I mean, he was able to watch Man of Steel, Henry Cavill as Superman, without much of a problem. But I would never show him the Chris Nolan's Batman because I don't think he'd necessarily be afraid of it. It was just like it's not appropriate. I'm not going to show him that yet. I'll show it to him when he's older if he wants to. If he still loves the genre that much when he's older, I'll let him watch Chris Nolan's Batman. But until then, I mean, me personally, I see the darker way they're taking the character of Batman as a return to form. Because, as I already said, that's what the character has always been in the comic books. Batman came from the comic books, and he was always a dark. In the comic books, by and large, he was always a dark, grim character. So the people who really are complaining that we want a lighter toned Batman are the very people who are more influenced by the '60s TV series, the Adam West portrayal, which was campy and happy. I mean, I was too. I mean, that was my first exposure to Batman. But then I saw the graphic novels, I read some of the comic books, and I prefer that version of Batman because that's the OG Batman. That's the original Batman. Batman's been around longer than the '60s TV series. Batman came out around the same time as Superman, a couple of years later, I think. Superman came first, and then Batman came later. And for the most part, Batman's always been a dark and grim character in the comic books, and it's just I see the dark tone they're taking with Zack Snyder's portrayal and with Ben Affleck in the suit. I see it as a return to form. I see it. It's a better version of it. I mean, to each their own. If you don't like it, fair enough. That's up to you. But I personally, again, I've already said in videos earlier, I love the way they're going. I thought Ben Affleck Ben Affleck would do great as Batman. I think. In this, you don't you hear him speak. That's the best bit. At the end, there's that picture you saw of when Batman and Superman finally meet, and you hear the kind of dark voice asking him, "Do you bleed? You will." So it's that's Batman asking Superman, and it's just, oh god, I can't wait, because especially if you're a fan of the Dark Knight Returns graphic novel, because in that Superman and Batman fought, they did rounds, they really beat on each other, and that's what they're drawing on. So again, that's another thing of why is Batman so dark and grim in this one? Because again, the graphic novel they're using as their inspiration was a pretty dark and grim version. So of course they're going to go that way. But yeah, again, 2016 cannot come fast enough. I'm massively looking forward to this movie. Can't wait. Right, I think that's enough for that. I'll be back with another video soon, different topic this time. Not to worry. And let me know what you think. If you saw the trailer, what do you think? And again, contact info is in the at the end of the credits. Like my Twitter and email and stuff. So if you want to let me know what you think, or even leave a comment with this video, help yourself. And take care, yeah. And I'll see y'all soon. Bye bye.